Hey guys, so I spent about a good 8 hours playing Fallout 4, and I kind of wanted to give you all my first impressions and discuss some really annoying game-breaking glitches that I came across in the first few hours. So this is my character. As you can see, she's married to Gandalf, a stoned, street-clothes Gandalf. I've actually restarted my character a couple of times now just to mess with the character creation, because I made some really fucked up looking characters the first time. So the first time I played, I spent like an hour trying to get a perfect Khaleesi lookalike from Game of Thrones. I made it to the first neighboring town, I got the dog, I met up with the locals, and then I saw her in cutscenes, and I had to restart. Like, they look fine from the front, and like from the mirror when you create them, but then when you see them in action, it's like, nope, I can't do this. You can also turn off the cutscenes, but then, to me, it's like, what's the point of spending hours in character creation? Then I tried to make a Kim Kardashian replica for another couple hours, and I wasted my time because then I encountered a game-breaking glitch that I will tell you about after my first impressions. So anyways, I made this character, and I just dicked around in the character creation until I got a character that I actually liked to look at rather than a lookalike one, which is kind of what I usually do, is go for like celebrity lookalikes. I don't know, I think it's funny. So with her, I got out of the vault, went to the first area, and then spent about 4 hours building this. The house building in this is so amazing. Like, I love this kind of shit. I haven't even gotten to the town building part of it, but I can already tell from just looking through these forge options that I'm going to be spending hours and hours just designing homes. And actually, I forgot to say, the first hour of my house building was just spent destroying and clearing out everything in my town that I could possibly destroy. It's so addicting to delete things. Like, thank God you can only do it in the designated areas, or I would just spend the whole game methodically deleting all the debris from the waste. What's also really cool about this is, like, now all the items in the game are useful to some degree, like for scrap material and also for aesthetic purposes. For people like me that love making cute shit, now you can collect junk across the waste, like coffee mugs and dinner plates and toasters and empty bottles of Nuka-Cola, with the sole intention of interior decorating. And it looks like there's no repair in this game, so you don't have to keep consolidating armor and weapons. So, like, it makes looting more tactful, I guess. So, instead of just taking every single piece of armor and weaponry from the corpses, which I used to do. I don't know if you guys did it, but I used to do that and just, like, consolidate it into one. Now you just kind of have to pick and choose. The second part of this game that I love is the combat. I know a lot of people don't like FPS games, but I personally really love them, and I think the system they have for it feels so much better than the older games. Like, it feels like any new age FPS game, and I love it. I switched to survival mode after Khaleesi, and I have to say that it's so fun so far. The differences that I've seen is that you heal more slowly with food items, and you have to take the combat slower. I'm not sure if it's because you have increased damage, or because your enemies have more health, but either way, it really ups the immersion, in my opinion. Like, you can't just rush in, which is usually my favorite tactic. You have to take it slow, use cover, use sneak, and you really feel like you're in the wasteland. Except for the part where you stop time with your Pip-Boy just before you're about to die. Jet also looks really cool in this game, speaking of slowed down time. I fought that giant Deathclaw and used Jet, and it made for some really cool looking, intense gameplay. Other things I think are worth mentioning, the new leveling system is really cool. I'm excited to get to the next level of perks, and I'm also excited they did away with like the speech and barter points and that whole system, because now my maxed out charisma character is actually going to be different than a low charisma character, because before, like, if you were low charisma, you could still put points in speech and have the same dialogue options as a high charisma character, which seems weird to me, but I'm glad that they fixed it now. And the new rad system is really cool. It's the same as Fallout Shelter, the app game, if you played that. So instead of, it being separate from your health, now it takes away a little from your max health. So instead, of a fully green bar, now you have to, worry about the little red. Now I, stop and cook all my food at the campfires, and I actually worry about getting radiation. I don't just sell all my rataways straight away. The power armor is also really cool. Instead of it just being regular armor, you actually climb into it like a mech and walk around, and you feel like you are in power armor. It's so cool. And the HUD is all different. And you can also add armor to your regular clothes. You can kind of layer up. So if you have a dress on, I have shoulder pads on now, armored shoulder pads. It's so cool. And overall, I'm just impressed with the whole game. Everything about the previous games that didn't really function well got a overhaul in this one, and now everything is just it just makes sense and it works, and I'm having a lot of fun, and I've only been playing one real quest of the game, so yeah, it's good, guys. The only real minus I have is that they switched up the dialogue system, so now it's more like Mass Effect and those kind of games where you don't scroll down a list of verbatim dialogue options. You just kind of have to choose from a simplified, 4 options. And I'm not really a fan of main characters in games like this having voices, especially because the voice actress for the girl doesn't really fit any characters I made. So that's kind of immersion breaking. And I think there was a lot of humor and charm in just reading all of the options that your character could say. And yeah, I mean, that's a pretty minor point, and it doesn't at all detract from it being a really fun game. Alright, so now on to the glitch. So after I restarted, I spent hours crafting the perfect Kim K, and I played the entire opening part, watched the cutscenes again for good measure, and then after I got out of the cryopod, I literally couldn't move. The only functional buttons were the start menu, and that's it. I just was frozen, even after I got out of the frozen pod. I tried reloading a save, which was from earlier on, so I had to play through the opening again, and it still didn't work. I reloaded again from an earlier save, and that still didn't fix it. I tried recreating Kim again. It still didn't work. So, literally hours have passed of me just not being able to play this game. I looked online, and it said people were having the same issue, and they fixed it by restarting their PCs completely. But restarting my Xbox One didn't fix it. So finally, I was able to fix it by completely uninstalling and reinstalling the game. So if this happens to you, sorry folks, but at least it's early on in the game, so you only wasted an hour plus of your time watching cutscenes and creating your character. And I also encountered a really fun glitch where my dog glitched out. I was trying to lockpick a door, but it was too high up, so it was hard, and I couldn't even unlock average at that point. And he glitched to the other side of it, and I couldn't get to him. And then another time, I was closing a door, and he happened to run in front of me, so the door closed on him, and I immediately opened the door again, and he was gone. So I expect to find a lot more glitches in this game, and I look forward to it, and hopefully I can record some good ones for you. Anyways, stay tuned for more Fallout 4 content. Let me know what you think of the game too if you've played. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I am obsessed with this game right now, so if you guys want to talk about it, I am all game. Thanks for watching, and happy Fallout 4, miss!